What's going on YouTube? You know who it is. Something spur of the moment that may continue and be something something that I continue to do. So spur of the moment that I'm not in the normal place where I make videos. So this is going to be a thing I called What's in the Box. And the reason for this is when I read books, I read them and then I put them on a bookshelf in alphabetical order. When that shelf gets full, I put them into my database, and then I move them into my long boxes that are my read boxes. If anybody saw any of my other videos that I've mentioned it, I have read boxes, and I have books that are unread. And I don't put anything in the read boxes until they're read, obviously. And this is just showing, other than my subs, what I'm reading. I mean, my subs are in this box too, but I'm just going to skip over them and show you what else I got. First, I read some of this Avengers Volume 2 when it started to renumber. This is number 3. And it was interesting. I felt like they just grabbed every big-name villain out there and threw them into this book. Here's number 4, and this is good for a good laugh. Nice Rob Liefeld Hulk there. Apparently, in Rob Liefeld's world, every character has the same exact face. They all look exactly the same. If he walks around life like that and just seeing everybody looks exactly the same, it would be a terrible life. Has to be a terrible life. Here's number 9. There were 2 Thors, I think, coming up around here. This book right here, there were 2 Thors involved. This is number 10. I didn't understand what it was about. I didn't really know what was going on. A lot of the characters seemed out of character in this. Here's number 11. It wasn't a bad read, per se. It was just very confusing. This is only confused me the most. It was 13, number 13. I think it's the last one, actually. It's part of an arc called World War III, and I had no idea what was going on. There's 2 dimensions. There's a lot of weird people. Grifters in here. Gen 13's in here. It was really awkward. I didn't know what happened. When was Image a part of Marvel? Apparently in the 90s, and I believe this is like 98 or 99. It was just really awkward for me. What else we got here? Here's a book I picked up and just decided to read. Captain Marvel number 30. It's I think it's part of the second Thanos storyline. Really good though. Love that book. Got a sweet deal on it too. Really good deal. As you can tell, I have a lot of subs. Flash number 303. This is when the Top comes back and takes control of, well, I guess the Top doesn't come back. His spirit inhabits Flash's dad's body, and then, you know, breaks out the Golden Glider from jail and such. Very good. There's also a backstory of Firestorm in here, which was really, really good. I did not expect it. There's even a nice splash page, well, it's not exactly a splash page, but just very good. I did not expect a great Firestorm backstory in this. Then I got some of my, I'm working on Flash Volume 2, working on getting all that, and here's some that I read recently. Here's 104. 123 kind of pays homage to that old Flash cover where you have Jay Garrick and Barry Allen on opposite sides, but this is just 2 different Flashes because he lives outside of the city. He gets kicked out of the city around that time. 136. 153, very interesting villain here, the Folded Man. I thought he was going to be really lame at first when I started reading it, and then the way they described him was really good. It was, because we're in the 3rd dimension, we can control anything kind of in the 2nd dimension. Like, we can, you know, move it around. We can, you know, go up and over in the 3rd dimension, obviously. Well, he's in the dimension above us, so he can do everything that we can't. He can be anywhere at any time. It's very interesting. I really like the way it went with it. I wouldn't mind seeing more Folded Man, although I don't think it's going to happen. This is 154. This is when it's kind of a second Flash comes from the future. It ends up being him who was attacked by what's his name, Abracadabra or something. So that magician from the future, and he ends up, in order to beat him back, he accelerates his body so quickly that the guy's attacks aren't hurting him, and then it ages him 10 years. Very interesting way of going about it. Flash got really weird around this point. There's 155. He wore that ridiculous costume there, too. Here's 156, where I believe there's 3 Flashes involved at this point. It all tied together well, though. I was confused at first, but it all tied together. Yeah, Abracadabra's his name. There's 158. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was just confusing for a minute. 159. I'm past the point where, when I read a book, I just get disgruntled right off the bat. I'll give it a chance, especially if I have a run of them, because I know eventually something will click. Here's Flash 231. I also have the variant for that. He has kids now. I never read any of the books in between when he had kids or these kids grew, but how they came about was awesome. They were just babies, and then the Speed Force increased their age drastically, and now they're like full grown and they have superpowers. Really interesting way the book went, and I could understand why this book was around for 200 plus issues. I think it ended at 250, I think, somewhere around there. Maybe even more than that. Here's 232. This is a good story arc where those aliens come from another dimension, and they come out of the water and they dehydrate people. The kids help, and I mean, everything in this was done very well with the kid aspect. It was different to me. I never remember reading anything like it. There's 235. Mark Waid had an incredible run on this book. He really did. He was on it forever. 236. It's a great cover there. Sub. Green Lantern, Green Arrow, number 90. This book was awesome, although it doesn't compare to the next one, which is Green Lantern, Green Arrow, number 91. Sinestro cover there. This book was awesome. Although sometimes I wonder why, when Green Lantern fights Sinestro, why he doesn't just change up what he's doing to fight him with. They always just do the same thing, and in this one they made like 2 arms and they arm wrestled. Why didn't he just like make a knife? I mean, I was a little confused. And his ring doesn't affect yellow, but it can arm wrestle with the yellow. I don't know. Either way, though, this was awesome. I really, really enjoyed this. There's a great opening splash page in that too. Working on my Iron Man. This is just Iron Man 287. Just one of the ones I was missing. Had to read it before I threw it in the cabinet. Read a nice little run of these that I read, and I really enjoyed them. I'm probably going to start working on this run eventually. Jonah Hex number 3. I was never a big Jonah Hex fan. I was never even a little Jonah Hex fan. But these were just awesome. Number 4. I have no idea where this camera is, so you may not even be able to see any of these books. Jonah Hex number 5. Number 6. Some great art in these, too. And I really enjoyed it. I never thought I'd be a guy who would say he enjoys a Jonah Hex story, but I really did enjoy these. Number 7. Number 17. Little jump there. And I didn't know how high these went. I guess it goes like 70-something. And that was exciting for me, because now I know I can collect a lot of these and read a lot of them. Number 18. Great cover there. Keep flipping away from these. Number 19. Did I just show you that? Either way. You may have saw 19 twice. And number 20. This is a good book, too. Every one of these, I like when books just have a character and they just do individual stories per issues. Story arcs are cool sometimes, but I really enjoyed how they just did individual stories with them each issue. And I mean, they kind of worked together, but they didn't have to. And I really enjoyed that. Another Commandy, number 34. Once again, just super impressed. I love these Commandies. Like I said the last time I read one, when I read the first Commandy I ever read, I thought there was going to be so much hype that it couldn't live up to it. But it did, and I really enjoyed it. I've actually started collecting more Commandies. When I come across them, I pick them up. I'm not actively going out and paying this money that some people want for them. But if I see one for $1, I'm definitely picking it up. I'm working on Marvel Comics Presents, 175 issue run. I think I need like 30 or 20 at this point, but I don't have them all read yet, so I'm working on reading them. This is 121. If you're a Venom fan, I'd pick these up because him and Wolverine have a nice little storyline in these. I think it ends around this number, though. It's a continuing storyline. Wolverine 122. Not Wolverine. Marvel Comics Presents 122. There's 123. She-Hulk starts in this one, so if you're a She-Hulk fan and you're looking to get all of her appearances, I think she has a 4 or 5 issue story arc in this, and starts at 123. 124, She-Hulk is still in there. The backstory of these are Ghost Rider and Typhoid Mary, I believe. They're not very good, and there's some horrible, horrible backstories in these about like the Knights of Pendragon, all sorts of stuff that I'm not interested in. Still tried to read it though. Oh, this one I have backwards. There's an Iron Fist backstory in this too. Well, I guess not a backstory because there's 4 stories in each issue. Marvel Comics presents 125. The Iron Fist one isn't bad, although the way the artist draws him, he's super jacked, and I never saw Iron Fist like that. Here's 126. She-Hulk continues. That Ghost Rider and Typhoid Mary story, I think, does the same amount as this current Wolverine one does. The Wolverine story isn't bad, actually. Wolverine, Marvel Comics presents 127. Black Widow appears in that, obviously. Marvel Comics presents 128. Some of these covers are alright. Other ones I feel like they just tried way too hard. Some of the stories in them are good. Other ones I feel like they tried way too hard. Some of the art in them is really good. Other ones I feel like they tried way too hard. Sometimes the panel setup, especially for these Ghost Rider stories, it's too much for your eyes. You look at them and you're just assaulted. You don't even know what to do. Here's Marvel Comics presents 129. Nice Crossbone story in here. He's trying to get rehabilitated, and I guess was what the plan was, although he's secretly acting like he's not. He ends up actually saving the day and making himself look really good, although his original plan was to escape. And Marvel Comics presents 130. I believe this is the wrap-up of this Typhoid Mary Ghost Rider story, as well as the Wolverine story, the current one. It was good, though. I mean, that was a nice little run. Although sometimes when you read those, it just feels like they take forever, especially if one of the stories you don't enjoy. And I mean, if you're like me, you have to read the whole book. You can't skip a story. I regret that some days. These books were interesting. J. Michael Straczynski's Rising Stars. I knew nothing about this, although I do like this the Top Cow universe from this time period. I read a couple of some other books. I don't even know their names right offhand, but I read this Rising Stars number 2, Rising Stars number 3, and Rising Stars number 4, and I really enjoyed them. I like the storytelling. There was a lot of dialogue in some of them, though. I think in number 2 there was actually a letter that you had to read. It was just, you turn it and it's just a book. It looked like a novel. But considering the story, I really did enjoy it. And I think that runs for like 24 issues, so I wouldn't mind picking those up. Superboy the New Adventures of Superboy number 8. This is Superboy kills Clark Kent. It's a whole weird story arc. I like these though. I like the Superboy when he's not like the clone. I like those too, but I like the Superboy when it's actually Superman in Smallville. Superboy number 11. Sorry, the Adventures of Superboy number 11. Adventures of Superboy number 12. I don't know if it's New Adventures or the Adventures of. I don't know what it's classified as. Adventures of Superboy number 13. And then I have a couple of Superman Volume 1 here. Here's one versus Mr. Mxyzptlk. Always a good story when he's around. Here's number 335. Here's Superman number 336. A nice Thorn story here where I think the lady's name is Rose. She turns to Thorn when she's sleeping. It's actually a pretty interesting character, but any Supes book is awesome in my book. And then also working on some Adventures of Superman. Got a little run here. There's a couple missing, but here's Superman 624. Well, Adventures of Superman 624. This is when Mr. Majestic comes around. He's kind of a futuristic. If I were to read the whole story arc, it would make more sense. I have a lot of these from the same time period. I think I want a lot on eBay from the same time period. It's Adventures of Superman, Action Comics, and Superman, which was the continuation of the 87 series before it switched back. And if I would have read them together, it would have made more sense. But now that I've read most of them, like through, I've read the Action Comics that I had through from that time. I've read the Superman through from that time. Now that I've read these, they all kind of come together in my head and they make a little more sense. Here's Adventures of Superman 625. I love that Godfall costume right there. Unbelievable. This is when he's kind of on Krypton. Once again, didn't really understand what's going on, but it's a Superman book, so it's awesome. Here's 627. This cover really weirds me out. 628. There's something really weird with his face to me. I think it's his nose is tiny or his eyes are tiny. I don't know. It doesn't work for me. And then this one I really enjoy. It's Adventures of Superman 629. I really like that cover. Adventures of Superman 631. This book is awesome. There's actually a moment where Lois gets shot, and she's in a war-torn other country doing reporting, and Superman hears the gunshot. Like, I guess he knows that it's going to happen. Like, he feels something. He hears the gunshot, and from halfway around the world, he catches her before she falls. She's like bleeding from this gunshot, and he catches her. It was an incredible moment. Absolutely well done in this too. It was a great panel when it happened. Adventures of Superman 639. This is I think the guy's name's Eclipse. Interesting though. Anytime somebody else besides Superman has control of his body, it's not a good time for anybody involved. Adventures of Superman 640. Adventures of Superman 642. This Ruin character was an interesting storyline too. It turned out to be like 5 different people at certain points. Adventures of Superman 645, I believe, is the last one for this video. Like I said, I wait till a shelf is full, and then when the shelf's full, I put them in this box, add them into my database, and then I move them into my comic room, to my red boxes. I can't fit them all in the short box, obviously, so I fill up the short box, I add them, put them in there, fill up the box again, add them, put them in there. So maybe, I mean, if this video is alright, I'll do What's in the Box number 2. And either way, this was number 1. Thank you for watching. Remember, have a great day.